What if instead of memorizing everything, an AI could just look it up? Language models like GPT or Claude learn from huge amounts of text, but that training stops at a fixed point in time. After that, they're working entirely from memory. That's a problem, because memory isn't perfect. When a model doesn't know something for certain, it sometimes fills in the gap with something that sounds right but isn't. That's called a hallucination. Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or RAG, is one way to fix this. Instead of relying only on what the model memorized, you give it a way to look things up before it answers. Here's the basic idea. You have a knowledge base, which could be a company's internal documents, a set of research papers, or a website's help articles. RAG lets the model pull relevant pieces from that knowledge base right when it needs them. The first step is preparing those documents. They get cut into smaller pieces called chunks, maybe a paragraph or two each. This makes them easier to search through quickly. Each chunk then gets converted into something called an embedding. An embedding is just a list of numbers that captures the meaning of that text. Similar ideas end up with similar numbers. All those number lists get stored in a vector database. You can think of it like a library where books are shelved by meaning instead of by title. When you ask a question, that question also gets turned into an embedding. The system then searches the vector database for chunks whose embeddings are closest to your question's embedding. The closest chunks are the ones most likely to contain a useful answer. The system pulls those out and hands them to the language model along with your original question. The model now has two things: your question and the retrieved text. It uses both to write its answer. It's not guessing from memory anymore. It's reading and summarizing real source material. This is why RAG reduces hallucinations. The model is grounded in actual text that was retrieved for this specific question. It has something concrete to work from. RAG also means you can update the knowledge base without retraining the whole model. Swap in new documents, and the model can immediately draw on them. You'll find RAG behind a lot of tools you might already use, from customer support chatbots that know a company's policies to research assistants that cite their sources. RAG isn't a perfect solution, and active research is still figuring out its limits. But it's a genuinely useful idea. Give the model a way to look things up, and it makes fewer things up. If you're curious how embeddings actually capture meaning, or how vector databases handle millions of chunks at once, those are worth exploring next.